No offense, LLC. The LLC stand for business. Yeah. It's no offense, yeah, we going in. Who we got on the show today? Might as well go tag a couple friends. They said you couldn't, now you know you about to blow again. They working hard in case you really need to know again. We're trying to get to know it then. Gave support from those that view and wanna see you win. We got the website, magazine, and radio. Be back up soon. Trying to put you in the spotlight so that you can tell your truth. Yeah, it's no offense to you and me. Ain't trying to sell no image. I want you to come on through and live your life the way you live it. What you say, you on your way. Shine so bright, they gotta see you. Pave your way and go be great. Make us say now, non-believers. Hey, it's no offense. Yeah, we going in. Who we got on the show today? Might as well go tag a couple friends. They said you couldn't, now you know you about to blow again. They working hard in case you really need to know again. Hey, it's no offense. Yeah, it's no offense. Yeah, it's no offense. Yeah, it's no offense. They said you couldn't, now you know you about to blow again. They working hard in case you really need to know again. Hey, it's no offense. Man, y'all hit that share button, man. Tap in. Special thank you to the guests of the show. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Matt Aronson, also known as Mr. No Offense to Some, and y'all know we back with another No Offense podcast episode, man. We definitely appreciate you guys for tapping in. Do me a favor, man. Hit the share button. As you know, it does not cost to hit the share button, and you might be able to help get our message a little further. So we appreciate you as always. Shout out to everybody who does watch the show, everybody who shares the show. Whether you're a supporter of somebody who's on the show, thank you for being an awesome friend and supporter. You know what I mean? But yeah, as always, we've got a new guest on the show today that you guys get the opportunity to get to know. We got Miss Viktoria Silk. She is out of the Dallas area. We're gonna get to know all about her, where she's from today, what influences her music, where she wants to go, the heights and things like that. Y'all know how we do. If you're in the comments and you happen to drop a question and I'm able to see it, we've got time, definitely try to get that answered for you. But like I always say, man, before we get started, I know a lot of y'all are just coming in a little late. Go ahead and hit the share button, tap somebody, let them know they get an opportunity to meet an awesome, amazing music artist or entrepreneur right here on the show today, and from the comfort of whatever favorite electronic device that you'd like to check out. Don't forget that you can download the No Offense Network Roku app if you've got a Roku TV or device, and you can be exposed to our library of interviews there. So now we got that out of the way. Y'all ready to hop into this thing? You know what I'm saying? Definitely make sure that you tap in the comment section where you might be tapping in from, so we can make sure to show you some love. Without further ado, we're going to get this thing started, y'all. So make some noise for Miss Viktoria Silk. Let's do it.
Hello. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for being on the platform today. We definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, allowing us to get to know you, allowing our audience to get to know a little bit about you, and to hear some of your music. So we definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. If it's okay with you, we're going to ask you a couple questions to get to know who you are, not just an amazing song singer, songwriter, and producer, but as an amazing individual. Sound good?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I always say that every great story starts from the beginning. Before you can build, we got to know where your foundation is. So tell us a little bit about your hometown and how it was growing up there.
Yeah. So I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, but I consider El Paso, Texas, my hometown. I moved there when I was little. I was 8. And so, that's all the formative years, everything that I remember when I gained consciousness into life was pretty much there. I remember very little of Phoenix, but I grew up in El Paso, Texas. El Paso is a border town to Mexico. And
Right.
definitely high population of Hispanics, Latinos, and so it's really awesome growing up there. It's definitely a bilingual town. I unfortunately did not learn as much Spanish as I should have, but I can keep up. I can keep up. I mean, immersed in it over there, you pick up things. But yeah, I went to, you know, I pretty much started there, part of elementary, and then, middle school, high school, and then I went to college for a little bit. University was not my was not my strong suit.
We understand. We
But
understand.
then I took my music classes serious, just not the other classes. But
Not the other classes. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah, and during all of that, I started music. I mean, I've always kind of been into music since I was little, even before El Paso. My first kind of performance, if you will, was like a little talent show that I got voluntold into when I was little. I just had like a camp counselor who it was at a summer camp, and he wanted to, I'm sure, beat his peers, like little groups of kids, and so he pretty much made everyone enter the talent show that was in the in the group because the better chance if everyone does it. And he assigned everybody something. He's like, "You're gonna dance. You're gonna do this. You're gonna." Then he pointed at me. He's like, "You're gonna sing." I'm like, "Okay."
There you go.
So, yeah, I whipped out the Spice Girls, and I won the talent show. And
Oh snap! What Spice Girls? Well, for one, who else other than the Spice Girls did you listen to back then around
oh
this time?
man, so I was little then, so definitely the Spice Girls. I listened to mostly what my mom like listened to because I was little, so
Right.
like my mom was always playing country, so definitely lots of Garth Brooks. She loves her some Garth. But yeah, I mean Alan Jackson, Kenny Chesney, like all of them. But on top of that, I think I was just obsessed with the Spice Girls at that point. That was about like all of my identity when when I was that little.
Did you have a favorite Spice, or were you? It was just all of them. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Who's
Yeah,
your favorite?
I really liked Posh Spice because her name was Victoria.
There you
And
go.
so, I was like, she is me, I am her. We are both Victorias and we are the same.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's pretty interesting. I mean, you got. It sounds like you got a pretty nice blend of musical inspiration back then. As far as what did you like most as far as the Spice Girls? Was it just the fashion? Was it the whole package? 'Cause I know they were a huge
Oh yeah, they
movement.
were huge. Yeah, I mean, like even to this day, I think they're super iconic, and it was just the whole package. Like the songs were like all like earworms. Like you just like were singing them. They're all catchy. They're all fun. They had like good harmonies. And then just all the girls having their own little individual thing going on. They were all so cute, all just like beautiful women, and so yeah, I just like so very much looked up to, like looked up to them. I thought they were like the coolest.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So after the the voluntolding, as you said, that that kind of pushed you into the singing experience. What made you continue going after that experience? Did you like how the show turned out, or what really got you into the singing? Other than obviously wanting to be
Yeah.
like a Spice Girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like aside from doing that, my mom like said that I've always been like singing like ever since I was little, just like la la lying all the time, and so she always just thought it was like a cute little thing that like that I did, and then like when I did that little talent show, she was like, okay, like she like can sing apparently, so maybe I should like foster that and help you know help that. And so I feel like shortly after that, I actually started taking piano lessons. I was like probably like 6 or 7, but it was short lived at that point in my life. But I did come back to it when I was about 10. Because there was a girl in my in my like fifth grade class who played piano, and I was like, I could do that. And like so yeah, a little competitive there. And so yeah, my mom got me piano lessons, and from there I stuck with piano. And when I was about 12, we actually started, like I was always singing, just always, but then after that I actually got like vocal lessons, and um, it was more of a like serious and structured situation for both piano and voice. I was classically trained in both, so yeah.
Gotcha. There you go. Classical. Yeah, because I was gonna say we've got an opportunity to hear your piano playing in a lot of your tracks. Well, it's on a few of the tracks that I've heard, and the first thing I noticed was you are an amazing pianist. I definitely could that you've been doing it for a while. I was just wondering. Well, that you let me know now that you're classically trained. It makes sense.
Yeah.
When about did you start to merge the two? Because I play piano. I can't sing a lick, so I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, hey, when did you start to merge the two, and how difficult was it for you? initially?
Yeah, so I had always like done both separately, and I think when I started taking the vocal lessons when I was around like 12, that like my voice teacher, she would give me or I'm sure she assigned books for me to use that had because like at that point she was teaching me to sing like a couple of Italian songs, and so she
Gotcha.
would send me home, or I had the book of the sheet music, and so
Right.
it had the vocal line on the top, for me to sing, but then it also had the piano accompaniment, and so I always wanted to learn both, just because I know I wanted to. And so that's kind of how like I started singing and playing at the same time, but it was all classical music. So
Okay.
nothing like what I do now, like R&B. But yeah, so that's kind of how they merged. But I always did the two separately. But every like vocal piece I'd learn the piano part, and sometimes my like vocal coach would have to remind me not to play like because I'd be playing the piano part like on the side of my leg while I was singing or something. So like he's like, stop, like you're only singing right now. So yeah, so it's always
Do
been
you
merged.
do you find it easier, or like you said there, where you're playing, like you're trying to stop yourself from doing? Do you find it easier to practice doing both, like as such as if you're like when you're practicing? Do you find it easier to play as you practice for one because you can, but two just does it seem to help you with like pitch, intonation, just other aspects as far as trying to get where you want to be as far as in the zone.
Yeah, so I like to practice playing like all of my songs. Like I have like an acoustic like keys version of it, and I think it helps me learn the song better and pay more attention to like what is going on vocally, and because at that point the only other thing going on is the piano versus like the drums, like a bass line, like
Right.
all this other stuff to kind of keep people's minds busy from your voice. So when it's just like you and the piano, like you have to really be spot on. And but yeah, just aside from that, I always like I just want to be ready for any opportunity that like comes my way. So if I'm somewhere and there's like a piano and like somebody, I don't know, if there needs to be music, like I'm your girl, I will start playing my music for you. So yeah, it's just I just want to have a deeper connection with my music and be able to tackle any situation I get put into.
I love that. I love that. Are you so you are one of those people like if you walk into a room and there's a piano there over in the corner, you will you go sit and play, or do you?
I make sure it's okay and that it fits the vibe. Like I'm not gonna go to like a house party that's like,
Right,
play some
right,
music that you're like shaking your ass to, and like to be like, oh, let me like whip out my little like. So it depends on the vibe. It depends on
right.
but yeah, yeah. If it seems like a like okay time to do it, I'll like go and start tinkering and then go in.
Are would you say you're shy, or do you become lost in your music as you play when you perform? I'm sorry. Let's back up. Have you performed publicly at this point? As
Yeah.
this time, have you done many performances?
Yes, yeah, I perform fairly often, just going out there and doing kind of like pop-ups or open mics or just whatever comes up.
Are you would you consider yourself to be shy, or um, are you nervous when you play, or is it pretty much like you're in an element at that point where it's just kind of like blocking everything else out?
Yeah, I feel like it's a roller coaster of all of those. So I think naturally I'm more of a shy person, a little bit more soft-spoken, but when I know that I'm gonna perform, like nobody wants to see like somebody like shy go up there. So I have to like kind of get past that. And I think like if anything, sometimes the first song there's a little bit of the nerves, and it's kind of like breathing through those and just making it through there and like vibing, dancing, like expelling my energy in like other ways. That way I can put on a good show. But yeah, I definitely get in the zone, especially if there's like if people are vibing, and I feel like for the most part people are vibing. I look around and people are there like, yeah, you know. So it's yeah, definitely a mix of everything, and then yeah, just getting lost in it at that point.
There you go. There you go. Maybe bringing the vibes for sure. Nothing wrong with that. That's actually pretty awesome to be able to move a room, and it be your music. That's amazing. How does it make you feel when you do look amongst the crowd and see, the connections being made with your music?
Yeah, it's definitely a euphoric feeling. It's just really nice seeing, even if like sometimes I'll do a show like regularly where some people have heard these songs and you can like kind of see them like mouth like one of the hooks and you're just like yes, like this is great. But even the people that haven't heard, like just seeing them like dance to it and vibe to it, it makes it feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and just it I'm like this is where I want to be and I want to just do this always and this is the best thing.
Well, definitely hope that you get to that point because I mean you do have a beautiful voice, by the way. And where what got you into songwriting? And um, you know, if you could just kind of like describe your creative process as far as your inspiration to to the actual song's completion.
Okay, yeah. So, what got me into like songwriting world? So I went to school for audio engineering, and that's kind of where I learned about like MIDI and production and kind of electronic music, and that's kind of what like had perked my ears to it was more wanting to do like EDM, like dance music, like DJing, kind of that genre because I still love it to this day. But like when I was in audio engineering school, like I was deep in, and so yeah, that's like what I wanted to kind of do originally was like be able to like record and like make electronic music and um, from there I started incorporating my vocals into the songs like more and more and more. At first it used to be like little like I don't know, you hear like electronic music and it'll be like dance go, something like, just
Yeah,
like
gotcha.
and because I don't know, I was a little bit afraid of like, putting my heart out there and like lyrics and even like vocally, like I would like really distort my voice. I'd really like do crazy like stuff to it and I don't know, I just started getting more comfortable with my own voice, getting people's feedback. Like they would be like, "Why do you have so much like stuff on your voice?" Like that's a bit much. And so, I would tone down the effects a little bit and stop being afraid of hearing just my voice and then the electronic music started getting really really lyrical and then I
Hmm.
started adding like seventh chords and just really like them little like R&B jazzy chords and then like before I knew it I ended up like going into R&B and so yeah that's kind of how that formed into to that and I write mostly about life experiences like my own experiences. I feel like every song has like my own experiences and sometimes like very close people to me like like sibling or like best friend or somebody that I have that like deep like empathetic connection to that when they were like so like distraught about this like one thing like I felt that like distraughtness and I don't know I had to like communicate it into a song and so yeah.
Would you say that songwriting is a meaningful method of communication for you? I know a lot of people find it. They have different ways they communicate that they find eases them better than like necessarily like standard like talking. Like you have writers, obviously, they write books or songs, things like that. Do you find that music helps you to express yourself easier than sometimes you can, and like necessarily like do you feel like you can get a deeper communication out of music versus necessarily having a conversation with someone?
Yeah. So, I don't use music so much maybe to like like if there's like, like with my husband, if I have like something to say, I'm not gonna go like write a song. I mean,
Right.
I have like gone and written down some lyrics if I'm like mad, but I don't like go and present it as a song. But I might use it later, like as inspiration. But yeah, I think that's kind of more of it. Like it helps me process what's going on, whether it's good or bad. I like write, about a bunch of different things from serious topics to just like not serious at all. But yeah, it helps me process things. And even if I don't use it to directly communicate with somebody, I have at least like 350 different like notes in my phone, like note tabs just of different like lyric ideas. And a lot of them came from when like I don't know if there was like an argument or something really good happened or something, it's just everything is in there and I just get things while they're fresh and take it down.
There you go. There you go. No problem. Um, I know earlier you said as you were, sampling your voice more and more, that kind of led you into R&B. And I know you previously you said, you were really into the Spice Girls, which I think were more like pop, right?
Yeah.
We said they were a pop group. How did how did you fare into like kind of transitioning into R&B, and what were your inspirations as you found yourself and your sound? And I know you've already said that you were going to school for production and things like that. It's different from like theory to like actually
Yeah.
creating what it is
Oh,
that you're
sure.
trying to do. So what were your muses and things that and inspirations that helped you kind of find your sound?
Yeah. So you're definitely right about theory and like being like classically like trained is a lot more of a rigid thing. Like you're being told what to play basically by the like sheet music. Like it tells you everything from the notes to play to like how loud and the expressiveness you're supposed to have. So getting into like the songwriting portion of it, um, I'm trying to think. I feel like I wasn't even really listening to a lot of R&B like at the time when I started making that transition from like electronic music. I think it was more I was like maybe looking at I think I was kind of getting bored with the chord progressions that I was using, just kind of like basic chords, and I'm like, how can I like spice it up? And then that I don't know, like R&B just has like so many like seventh chords, like minor sevens, major sevens. Like it just like adds that coolness to it. And like I just like started discovering like seventh chords, and I'm just like, ooh, like that's smooth. And I don't know, it just inspired making like something more lyrical, something to like vibe with the chords that I was putting together. And yeah, I feel like my first song where I like realized I'm like that was a little bit R&B. I knew I'm gonna re-release it, but it's called New Feelings, and there's like I know like some of my like OG like people that have been around like listening to me for years and years, like they may have like a copy of it from like when I had it on SoundCloud and you can download it, or from I had like released a little mixtape and then I pulled it off because I wanted to have a better mix of everything, but yeah, it's out there, like fluttering out there. But that was one of my first songs where like it was getting a little R&B up in the room. So yeah, and from there I just started like leaning more towards that, and yeah, still the stuff that I produce now because I produce a lot. I produce like maybe like half of my stuff, and then the other half now is like producers will reach out to me and send me like really cool beats, and I'm like I have to write to this. This is like the best beat. So
Right.
yeah, it's a little bit of both now. But when I produce, it still very much had like a bit of like my old electronic music style, but like in R&B.
Hey, that's what makes you unique. You have your set type of sound. I mean, you can change it a million ways, but you have your sound, and that's cool that you found yourself and know where you are in that pocket. Um, how did your fan base take? Well, if I can, let me back up first. When did you first put out your first production that
Yeah.
that you had done with your own work? Because I know we could be our own worst critic, and I know like you want to make sure that you give a presentation that's representative of you. So when were you comfortable enough to release your first project that you had done?
Yeah. So I want to say it was probably like 2014 or 2015. So yeah, maybe about 10 years ago, when it was still a little bit on the more electronic music side of things. I just stuck it on SoundCloud. I didn't even know if I like shared it on any social media or anything. I just kind of like stuck it there, and I was like, well, we'll
We'll see what happens.
put it there. And I couldn't even tell you how many listens I had. Probably had like not a lot. Probably in the couple hundreds by the time that I like took it down. But yeah, so it I forgot like even where I was going with that. But yeah, that was kind of like my first like big leap of like putting something out on there, and it's scary and you're just afraid of people like, you know, they're gonna say something bad, they're gonna like hate it, like nobody's gonna like it. But yeah, I think I got, from the very, very little feedback I got, it was all positive. And I'm like, okay, like, I can do this again. And then, like the next song it was like, better quality, had more things. And it's just like such a progression, and you go back and listen to your old stuff, and you're just like, we, like that was rough, but it got put out there, and it helped. It helped hearing the progression, and also it helped getting the bad comments. Like there's not, luckily there's wasn't a lot, but it's the internet, and and it's arts, and not everyone's gonna like what you do. So when I got my first like mean or bad comment, like it was a good learning experience, because I was like, I didn't die, I still want to
Right.
make music. Like it wasn't that
It,
bad.
right. Right.
So I was like, okay, like I could do that. Like if it happens again, like it's okay. Like I made it. And the majority of people are saying that, it wasn't bad, that it was good stuff.
We've got some comments, some love in here saying we've got Mila Ramora saying she's so great. Uh, yes, man. We've got we got Crystal Ortega clapping. Thanks, man. So as far as when you started making this transition over to R&B, how did your listeners fare? Because I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, when you release the art, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's not that you're opening yourself to being criticized, but it kind of like comes with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
It does.
uh, how did your base take it? Were they ready for it? Did you see a trend either way with either more listeners, less listeners, just as you're finding yourself, or how would you describe that period as
Yeah.
made the transition from EDM over to more R&B?
Yeah, well, definitely my fan base grew as I started getting more lyrical with things, and getting more comfortable, like with letting my voice be my voice, and not like distorting it to unrecognizability. And I feel like the OG people who have like been there forever. I think they just saw it coming, because like it wasn't like a drastic change where like I like went from full like boom 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 over to like smooth Alicia Keysness, like So yeah, I feel like they just like saw it making that
It,
going
it was
that
the
way.
next it was the
Mhm.
next thing that happened.
Right,
Gotcha.
exactly. Like everything just got more and more lyrical, a little bit more like song-ish, like traditional like song like writing style of verse, chorus, intro, like all that good stuff. So yeah,
Gotcha, gotcha,
like
gotcha, gotcha. Well, so speaking to like tracks such as your latest display, um, what inspired display, and what kind of helped to keep it, you know, in focus as to what you wanted the track to be. I know a lot of times some artists will start off with a certain project, and just as they kind of continue, they adapt it to, they
yeah,
kind of like it doesn't always it doesn't always finish with what it started as.
yeah.
Um, how would you describe the process with display and what inspired it?
Yeah, so Display is definitely one of my favorites. That one was produced by me. That one wasn't like a collaboration with anyone. And so my husband is really into like drifting, like like car drifting. And so I also like see a lot of like the videos. I think it's really really cool. I love to see like, all the cool cars, like all the stuff that they do. And I really enjoyed the music that was in the background. It was like it's called funk, but like they spelled like PHONK instead of like, funk from like the like 70s, 80s. It's just like PHONK. And
Gotcha.
the best way like I describe it to people if they like can't quite like relate the sound of funk is like the Fast and Furious like Tokyo Drift like theme song, I guess, where it's like dun 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 dun. So it's like that's a very distinct part of funk, is that it has that like it doesn't sound like a cowbell, but that's what that sound is. But dun 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 dun. So
Gotcha.
so yeah, it has that element, as well as like kind of some like repeating kind of like drone like vocals in the bottom that you usually can't really understand what they're saying, but that's like a huge like part of it is just having this like kind of underlying like repetitive vocal on the like underside that you can't hear, but it's like a percussive thing almost. So yeah, I really like I really like the funk genre, and I wanted to make a funk song that was also R&B. And I had made like 3 attempts before Display came to be of making a funk R&B song, and it just like never worked out. I would be like, maybe like 20 seconds into the like song, and it just like wasn't going anywhere like production wise. I just couldn't quite make what I wanted. And yeah, finally, just this time around, like I was getting the sounds that I was looking for. And then and lyrically, I think I like went to my notepad and or my notes, on my phone, and kind of looked around in there to see like what kind of was fitting the vibe that I was starting to get together. And so the theme, I mean, for those who have heard it or haven't
Right.
heard it, it is not a it's a little sexy. It's a little saucy,
But it's
sultry.
not vulgar. Yeah, but it's not vulgar, and that's what's pretty
Exactly.
dope about it too.
Yeah, and that's like what I want. I've always kind of tried to do with my music is like, because a lot of my songs they have that underlying like like bad, but I also don't like to be so upfront. I don't like to spell it out. I like to
Right.
have that like little undertone, the innuendos. So definitely this song is kind of like an innuendo of particular acts that you may do with a partner.
Right, right. Little dope fun there. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, so
But no, what that's one thing I actually love about your music. I'm from the '90s. You know, we I don't know. A lot of our music was like you had to have an imagination as well to kind of get everything that was going on. It wasn't so upfront
yeah.
as a lot of the music is nowadays. And that's not a shot. That's not like you know.
Right,
That's
not like
not
no
a
shade. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to shade anybody. I'm just,
Yeah.
I think that with the creativity of the writer is the fact that they had different ways of saying what we all knew, but it was, it was part of the art.
Yes.
So that's what I do commend you on that. With your music, I do hear a lot of those elements in your tracks, and that's why what I'm saying. When we got the opportunity to have you on, I was like, of course we got to talk to you. Like what I'm saying. We definitely rocking with the movement and what you're doing. I've got to ask, where would you like to see, or where would you like this, your career to take you? What were some things that you'd like to maybe accomplish in the next couple of years?
Yeah. So, definitely, for a cliche saying like the sky's the limit, I don't want to like, I don't know, I don't want to like
We don't want
ever,
to put you in a box or nothing like that. Yeah.
yeah, but I would at least, at the very, very least, like to support like, myself completely with it, like be able to pay like the mortgage, like all my bills, like my car would be great, not have to work, 9 to 5. I would, that's like the very least is, but that I also don't want to limit myself to that. And I want to be touring and performing and seeing more of people vibing and, mouthing my lyrics and, interacting with people. I'm totally a people person. Like I really love, like hanging out, and I really like, just vibing with the audience. Especially I want to get more of the girlies on board, honestly, because I feel like a lot like, I love the men, I love my male audience. Everybody's been really, really nice and supportive and totally there, but I'm like I'm trying to get to the girlies. So because I feel like a lot of my songs are, they can
For
relate.
women.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And so I guess that's like a goal of mine is to get, more of the girls on board. But I definitely still like love my guy followers and my, um, you know, I've, anyone who listens, I am so grateful for and so happy that you're coming along on the ride.
For sure, for sure. No, it's definitely all inclusive. But no, I could definitely, artists have well, hopefully they have an intended base. I mean, any additional base is awesome. Definitely a plus. So no, I mean, I could definitely understand, wanting to have more women on board, cause, especially considering the songs do speak from a woman's point of
Yeah.
view most of the time. So I definitely think people can understand what you mean there. Um, as far as is there anybody that you might be looking to hopefully work with, or are you just interested in seeing where collabs or what collabs could create, or are you more so focused on just your sound right now? I mean, because we talk to different artists. I definitely understand each period. They don't look either down on either one, but just an idea if anyone's looking to collab with you, is that something that you're looking for right now, or are you just focusing on particular sound, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, so I'm definitely like open for like there's always like the dream collabs. Like I would love to like
Right.
collaborate with like Sabrina Claudio. She's one of my favorite R&B singers, or like Doja Cat because she's just like a badass. There's like the dream like collaborations, which never know. But like as far as like collaborations, just like with like like small artists like myself, yeah, I definitely love doing that. Because there's so many talented people. There are so many talented artists
There
out there.
are.
It's crazy. And so yeah, like if it's like something that like I vibe with their sound, I vibe with them as a person because like definitely I feel like I get along with most people. Like I have a pretty non-confrontational personality, but also like, like if the vibe isn't there, then there's not going to be like a good a good song.
Chemistry.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
so yeah, but no, I love collaborating with artists and producers. It's one of those, but then I'm also very focused on like writing my own stuff and kind of like, getting that. So that's always priority is like, like my like music, but a lot of times like, it's might be like in a creative or a mental block where I'm just not having like luck writing stuff on my own. I'm like, hey, like let me reach out to this person who wanted to collab. Like now is a good time. Like I can't like like maybe they have a song that they need me to put a verse on, and like I feel like I can write verses really quickly. If the song like if the beat's good and like the other artist has like a verse already, I just kind of like piggyback off of that and it kind of make it my own style. And yeah, there's just I always want to be creating something like always. So yeah, collabs with it.
There you, there you go. There you go. Well, Miss Victoria, so where can those who hope to hear your tracks, for what where can they find them? What are some tracks that maybe three that you would recommend off for a first time listener to your music, and what are your social channels so people can follow you and
Yeah.
definitely encourage you along your journey.
Yeah. So, for my socials, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I have a Facebook, but I don't really go on there. But it posts all the same stuff my Instagram does. But it's under Victoria Silk, all one word, and I spell Victoria with a K. That's very important, because yeah, like without it, you're not gonna find me. So I spell Victoria with a K, silk like the fabric. And I'm also like on YouTube. I have my music videos there and all my music as well. But my music is on all the platforms too: Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, all of them. And if I was gonna recommend three songs, I'll start with what is like one of my favorites and a crowd favorite whenever I perform it. People love it. It's called All Night, and that one has kind of like some disco R&B vibes. It's a good one. It's really fun. It's just about going out with your friends, and well, my personal favorite is Flirt. And Flirt is kind of a little bit more on the traditional R&B, like, got the 90s vibe, and it's just about having basically like flirting with your coworker. You know that coworker that you got that little chemistry on. So yeah, it's about that. And then Display, the most recent song that I put out, just because that was a huge labor of love and getting to like mix another genre that I've been wanting to work with so much, like finally happening. Um, so yeah, Display, and then I have a song coming out in a few weeks too. So if you follow me, keep an eye out for that.
Well, there you are, Ms. Victoria. So we definitely will be following your career. We definitely wish you well. We know you're going to do awesome. You have an amazing voice. We can tell you've got a passion for what it is that you're doing. And I know you said you just mentioned that there was a new track coming out in the next coming weeks. So we'll
Yes.
definitely be on the lookout for that. If you tag us, if any promos that you put out, we'll be sure to share it with the audience as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank y'all for hanging out and listening.
Hey, no problem. I'm sorry. My last question I gotta ask. I know when I invite people to the show, for those of you guys who are watching, I don't send them any questions. They don't get any prep time. This is all happening in real time. And I know I've had people say, they've been nervous on the show. Now that you've come through the show, you've come through the interview. Um, we didn't. I don't think you had a terrible time. I'm hoping, but would you be willing to sit with us in the future, just if you had an opportunity, and got some time, and say, hey, Miss Silk, it's been a minute since we talked with you. We just would like to know what's been up with you. Would you think you might be open to coming back?
I would love to. Yeah, this was really fun. Good vibes, good questions, and good conversation.
We definitely appreciate you, Miss Silk. Until next time, we definitely wish you many blessings, much love, much success, and we'll be listening.
Cool. Thank you so much. You have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. All right, guys, we definitely appreciate you for coming through. Make sure that you hit that share button. Please go check out Miss Victoria Silk on all platforms. Go ahead and listen to it. Go and listen to her tracks. Again, Display was the most recent that's come out. She'll have another track here in the next couple of weeks, which we'll keep you guys posted on. As always, you can check the article that'll be written up about the interview. Probably in a couple of days on nooffensellc.com. But in the meantime, you can go ahead, head over there and check out some of our other interviews that we've done. The next No Offense magazine will be released next Saturday, the 15th of June. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be available for free viewing on our website. You can also order a physical copy that time. It'll be linked there. And guys, ask anybody who's ever had a physical copy. It's 100 times better than the digital version. We leave it online so that everyone has the opportunity to see it, but there's nothing like holding it in your hands and flipping those pages. It's just different. I promise you. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I've been Mr. No Offense, and remember, don't wait on the world to change, but you could be the one to change the world. Until the next time we meet each other, much love, success. Catch you next time on the No Offense podcast. Be easy.